Hi, everyone. Um, I'm like giggling right off the top because it's just weird to be in front of the camera. It's been a few days. I just got back from vacation. I'm feeling very refreshed and rested, except the energies are there. It's not heavy. It's just kind of um, walking through mud, I guess. So it's not like really heavy. It's just like needing to really pace yourself and get yourself going, which is interesting because the shirt that I'm wearing, it says find your pace. Take the journey, find your pace. It's from a really cool shop that I visited while I was in Vegas. And if you want to see some of the adventures that I had while I was in Vegas, go over to my Instagram, Fearless Intuition 1111. Had a lot of fun while I was there. But this place was super amazing. They're based out of Michigan. And so shout out to Live at Your Own Pace. They do have a website, liveatyourownpace.com. So pretty fun time. And I'm ready to get back to work. And I'm ready to talk about the energies that are going on because there's a lot of magic that's happening right now. Pisces season is always a little bit slower for me. And I'm always having to kind of check myself so I'm not pushing myself too far, or I'm really allowing myself to process things that are happening. It's not a logical time. And if you've probably heard me say it before. I know a lot of my friends have heard me say it. Right now is all about getting to the emotional side of things. We have the new moon in Pisces happening today and for actually the next couple of days. We also have the suns in Pisces. Mercury just went retrograde at the very last degrees of Pisces. So it'll be meeting back up through planetary conjunctions for the next month, sextiles and conjunctions and squares with Jupiter. So, it's going to be a time of processing your emotions and not really trying to be very logical about things, but allowing yourself to see where your emotional barriers are and pushing the ego to the side. Because if you try and figure things out from an ego way right now, it's not going to make sense. And the harder you try to logically figure things out in an ego way, the harder it's going to be to get through this very emotional time. Pisces is magic. Neptune is also in Pisces. And we'll be there until 2023. I believe it's 2023. I think so. So the biggest thing, I think, especially with the needing to trudge along regardless of what's happened, like I said, like I'm talking slower. I'm thinking slower. I'm a much slower person when we're in Pisces season because it is just opposite me being a Virgo. Pisces is just opposite of me. So it really, like, Pisces season affects me, and it's every single year. It happens like this every single year. So one of the things I do want to say is if you're waiting for an email from me for a reading or just any kind of like updated email from me, I'm getting to those. Please remember that I was on vacation for 4 days, 5 days. So I put everything to the side. There were also some family things that we're going through right now, a couple of family things that we're having to work through at the moment. So I appreciate everybody's patience. One thing I will say is I've really noticed that the low vibrational people are coming out quite a bit. And I've noticed it a lot on like the comments of the readings, and it doesn't really bother me. If there's a comment that really bothers me, I'll just delete it. Like I'm secure enough in myself to know that I don't need to confront anybody. Like I'm not that person. Like I'm not going to confront you on what you say. But if you leave a negative comment on a reading, it's going to be deleted. So don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time in doing it. Just, kind of like be a good person. And if a reading feels like it's not fitting with you and it's kind of, and I know other readers say this too, if it does not resonate, if it's a heavier reading and you're doing really great in your life, skip it. Like you don't even need to leave a comment. Like using that energy to leave a negative comment on a reading that didn't resonate with you, that's just pointless. Like, there's no reason. That is one of the biggest things that I talk about when it comes to alignment. Why are you wasting your energy on something that has absolutely nothing to do with you? There's really no point. And this time of year is going to show that in huge ways. Where are you putting yourself in situations where you're using extra energy and extra time and extra emotions that's not even serving you? And that comes down to the smallest thing as watching readings on YouTube. If it doesn't resonate with you, I mean, it's such a simple rule. If it does not resonate, if it's a heavy reading and you're doing really well in life and you don't need the advice of that reading because it's a little heavier, skip it. It's not for you. Maybe I'm not the reader for you, and that's okay. But there's no need to bash somebody's work or what they're doing. And I know 100% I'm not the only reader that said that. There's been, we put ourselves out there and we do this. I mean, I don't get paid for this. And if you think that YouTube pays a lot doing this, no. So it's not something like, I'm not a millionaire from putting free YouTube videos, like free for you guys. I'm not a millionaire from doing this. It's not, so we do this because this is what we live. This is our life. This is our truth. The true readers on YouTube that are trying to uplift people and give them advice during negative times of cosmic challenges and positive times. Like, I do advice from both ends. That's what we're here for. And if it's, again, not resonating with you, I'll say it over and over and over again until it gets into everybody's mind. If it's not resonating with you, don't waste your energy. I mean, even if it's 30 seconds of your time of writing a negative comment, there's no need for it. There isn't. And I know that that's not going to get to everybody, because low vibrational people are going to be low vibrational people. And, I've said it a million times. I feel like I don't have to say it all the time because that should be common sense. But a lot of people don't have common sense. So, and that's not even like throwing shade. That's just, it's a simple fact. A lot of people just like don't really think, oh, this is going to affect them in some way, or this is going to affect them in some way. Or maybe I just shouldn't do it because there's really no need for me to waste my energy on putting somebody down, right? So that's the other thing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because everybody's affected by being bullied right now. And even being bullied is kind of an illusion because, like, the bully actually has more problems than the person that they're bullying. So it's like, the bully actually needs to heal some wounds more than who they're projecting it onto. And because I can see when people are, putting their emotional, BS in a comment on my channel or a comment anywhere, when you are placing your emotional BS onto somebody else, like, I can clearly see that, but not everybody can. So allowing yourself to recognize that if you're being pushed or bullied by somebody right now, because it's huge, because emotions are running high, because there's anger and sadness and hurt and pain, and I don't sugarcoat anything, and I never will. So if you feel like you have to project onto somebody else in a negative way, check yourself and find out what that is within you that's making you feel like you have to project that onto somebody else. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not about the other person. It's about what's going on inside of you. And yes, and that's vice versa. Even if you have like a narcissistic person you're dealing with and they project it onto you first, check yourself before you project back. It's actually a very simple method. And in saying that, also, I am offering the class on March 10th, Mastering Yourself, which is just a couple of days away. There are a couple of spots left. Mastering Yourself, coming into alignment. When you're in alignment with yourself, things flow freely. It's a much more peaceful feeling, and things flow to you in a much easier way. And that means money, love, relationships, careers. And it's not that everything is rainbows and butterflies every day. That's like my biggest thing. Not everything will be rainbows and butterflies every day when you are in alignment with yourself. You're just able to handle situations where you're not getting triggered because you've healed the wounds and you've recognized that you don't have to project yourself onto other people in order to get a response. And you're able to check yourself and say, maybe it's not the other person, maybe it's me. And be honest. Like, being honest with yourself is a huge part of being in alignment. Because we don't like to admit that we're not perfect. We don't like to admit that we have flaws. We don't like to admit that there are things we could be doing better in our lives. So one of the biggest things I say in my alignment courses, which again, there are a couple of spots, plus I do one-on-one coaching. If you don't want to be a part, and it's just a small class that right now there's only like 6 people that'll be there. And I have up to 10 spots. So there are 4 more spots available. But if you don't want to be a part of a class, I also do one-on-one coaching, alignment coaching, where we talk about what your specific triggers are and where you can specifically heal yourself. And the reason why I bring all of that up is because that's what the energies are about in March. Not just this week, but for all of March. And the new moon is going to show you where you are emotionally stunting yourself from growth and where you can push forward and where you can allow yourself to be the winner and not be in a place of content, like heaviness and darkness and pain and hurt all the time. Because when you're sitting in a place of hurt and pain and darkness all the time, your vision is clouded. That's your ego getting involved in saying, you're not strong enough to get through this. You're not strong enough to push through this. I'm going to force you to stay still because you're not strong enough to do this. That's your ego getting involved. And when you stop your ego from getting involved and you allow those emotions, I mean, like if you're really emotional right now, which I know a lot of people are, and it's okay. It's okay to be really emotional. And if you are really emotional right now, allow yourself to feel it. And I've said this in almost every single reading for March, and I will be finishing the March readings. I know a lot of people have been asking me about that too. I have 6 signs left to do. I will be finishing those this week. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, because again, you're not going to be able to logically pull yourself out of a space. Like if you try to figure out like I can't fix this, why can I not fix this? Because you're not supposed to fix it logically. You're supposed to feel your way through it. And what does that mean? So for example, you're having money problems, and usually with money problems, we have to logically pull ourselves, try and fix the money problems logically, right? What's my next step? Instead, because I find people that are consistently having money problems or consistently having, and I'm saying this out of experience, like I've been there. I've been in that place of having really bad money issues. And it even still comes up every once in a while, this wounding that I have, and that's where I'm getting to. I want you to look and see, what is the wounding that you have? Where is your limitation when it comes to money? Where is it that you are allowing yourself to stay small? If you want to have more money flow, what are you doing to stop yourself? And if you're putting the blame on, I've been putting my resume out everywhere and I'm not getting any answers back. I'm doing this and I'm not getting any answer. I'm doing this. I did get a job offer, but it's for less money. Are you limiting yourself because it's less money? Because that's an ego thing to do. Because if it's a job that you want, if it's a job you'd be good at, if it's a job that you'll enjoy, if it feeds your soul in some way and it doesn't suck you dry, go for it. Some people work at fast food restaurants because they love doing it, because they like to, and if you say, I've never met anybody that's worked at a fast food restaurant, there's this guy that works at the McDonald's over here. And, I have a 5-year-old, so he loves his chicken nuggets and french fries. And I am not even afraid to say that I get my 5-year-old chicken nuggets and french fries. We've all been there. Don't shame me for being that parent. Because I know some of you are going to be like, well, that's not okay. That's so unhealthy. It's unhealthy if it's overdone. Everything in moderation, right? But we go to the play place and all that. Not the point. The guy that takes our order is always in a good mood. And he's always like, hi, how can I help you today? Welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you today? Like, always in a good mood. And I asked him one day, I'm like, it was almost shocking, like, because he's real loud and like boisterous, and it's it's all the time. And he started to kind of quiet himself a little bit. And I asked him one day, I'm like, why are you, you're always so happy and you're a little bit, I noticed that you're a little bit quieter today. And he was like, my manager told me that people were complaining that I was being too loud. I was like, people were complaining that you were being too loud or you're being too happy. Like, it literally annoyed people at how happy he was at taking their order. That, like I kind of stood back and I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't want you to lose your job or anything, but I enjoy, like, whenever I come here, I enjoy hearing from you. I enjoy when you take our order because it puts me in a better mood. So literally you can do any job and be happy doing it. It doesn't have to be a limitation for you. It doesn't have to, and if you're limiting yourself because you don't have enough money, find out what that wound was within you. Like, the wound that I had with not having enough money is I was poor growing up. I was very, very poor growing up. And I've been working since I was 14 years old. And I always was working and working and working to have the clothes that everybody else was wearing, to have the things that everybody else had, to have all of this stuff, the stuff, right, that everybody else had, instead of just working for the pride of it, working for the satisfaction of being able to have a job and go to work every day. It's not about how much you're making. It's about how you're using your resources. If you're working at a job, but this is like an epidemic in America for sure. It's an epidemic of always spending more than you make. That's what credit cards are there. That's what loans are there. Always spending more than you make. That's a wound. There's a wound there of why do you do that? Why do you spend more than you make? Why not just, why have the house where you're paying more on the mortgage than you're actually bringing in a month? Things like that. So, and I know I kind of went off on a tangent from like the energy stuff, but that was all channeled for some reason. Somebody needed to hear that. But these are the things that I talk about in alignment coaching. Like, wherever you feel like you are out of alignment in some way and why things aren't flowing to you in an easy or freely. I won't say easy. It's free. It's a more free, peaceful way. It's not always going to be easy, but it can be peaceful. Okay? And that's a huge thing between being easy and peaceful. Huge, night and day, right? Not because I still have to work, but I don't hustle, I align. Because when I'm aligned, things flow freely and peacefully to me. When I hustle and I'm stressed out about it, and I don't know what I'm going to do next, and I don't know what I'm going to do next, and I don't want to, things don't work out. And that was something that I really had to come to terms with in the last couple of years, especially doing this, because I love my job. But there was a time where I was like, oh my God, I'm so overworked. And I'm starting to really dislike what I'm doing. And I had to take a break. And I had to pull myself away for a couple of days, or maybe, I think it was like a week, maybe. And it might have even been because I was sick. I was forced into it. And I had to take a good hard look on, why am I doing this? Because you could be doing your dream job and still be really, really miserable because you're hustling. You're not aligned to it. You're not doing it for the reasons why you started doing it. You're doing it because you need to make the cash. So when you start doing things out of alignment and not out of a stressful ego way, that's when things start to free up for you. And that's when things start to come to you. Okay, I'm going to stop preaching, getting off my soapbox. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever, so I needed to get that out, and I appreciate it. I do not mind if you timestamp it where I start shuffling the cards for the energy. Please put a disclaimer that there was a channeled message before this that could be helpful to some people, because I feel like some people might just skip straight to the cards and miss the channeled message. And there is somebody that needed to hear that. Usually that's the reason why. All right, so let's see what's going on tarot-wise for the energies of this week. What is today? Well, today is March 6th, so it's the new moon. So let's do a new moon Mercury retrograde reading. Let's do that. Yes. Thank you, universe. I love it when the cards line up to what the channeled message was. Oh my goodness. King of Pentacles, Four of Swords. This is all about coming into alignment and how to do it. Because you want to be sitting on the throne. You want to be the King of Pentacles. You want to rule your kingdom in a fair way. You want to bring in the coins. You want to bring in the cash flow. If you're feeling stressed about becoming the King of Pentacles, and you can be a woman becoming the King of Pentacles as well. I very much love to put on my masculine side face and be a King of Pentacles. How do you do that? Four of Swords. You rest. You take a rest. You know, because even the strongest leaders need a vacation. Even the strongest healers and even the people that have all of their shit together, what do you think people who have their life together and they're in alignment, what do you think is the biggest thing that they do? They take time out for themselves. And that's exactly what the Four of Swords is. It's doing meditation, it's healing, it's making sure you're getting enough sleep, it's allowing yourself to rest. And I think that that is a very big lesson for everybody right now. Pisces season, if you're trying to hustle and you're like, oh my gosh, this energy is really heavy and I'm having a really difficult time, feel like I'm trudging through the mud, it's Mercury retrograde. That's a programming, by the way. Mercury retrograde, what does it mean? And I said this on my Instagram and my Twitter. Twitter is Betsy33, but the E in Betsy is a backwards 3, or is a 3. So a backwards 3. Oh my gosh. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Betsy33, but the E in Betsy is a 3. So it's B3TSY33. Okay. And I said this about Mercury retrograde. It's not about being a disaster. Mercury retrograde does not have to be a disaster. That is programming. Mercury retrograde means that the planet is closer to Earth, so the energies are stronger. That's why technology gets a little wonky. That's why when you're trying to talk, you can't really get it out because Mercury is all about communication. So you have to, Mercury retrograde forces you to focus on your pace. Find your pace. Take the journey, find your pace. It doesn't have to be a disaster. If you've made sure that you're allowing yourself to kind of stop and smell the roses during this time, it's not going to be really hard for you to get through. And it's also, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is asking you to get real about your emotions. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be, sorry, I got to click something off here. Something popped up on my screen. It can be, if you want to make it hard, then you just keep thinking negative that it's going to be a hard transit, that it's going to be a tough transit. But it doesn't have to be a tough transit. It could actually be really, really much easier. So, yeah, see? 7 of Cups. There are a lot, and this is why you have to rest right now, because there are a lot of options that are in front of you. There are a lot of roads that you can take. And once you get through the slowness of the energy, the trudging through, the I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, right? The little engine that could, I think I can get up the hill. That's what it feels like. We're like trudging up that hill right now. There are a lot of options facing you. And so if you feel a bit confused about where you're going next or what you're supposed to be doing, you have to go within. And that Four of Swords for me isn't even really about the thought process. It's more about getting centered within yourself, because swords are all about thoughts and communication. And I feel like it's more of an effort for you to just, don't push it right now, because the more you push it, the harder it's going to be, like I said, right? And then we have the Death card and we have the Six of Swords. Like I said, the more you push it, the harder it's going to be. So if you allow yourself to go from the Four of Swords, and there are some things I feel like, going to the Seven of Cups from the Four of Swords, there are some things here in the Seven of Cups that aren't beneficial to you and need to kind of fall by the wayside. If you have a lot of options in front of you, or if there are a lot of things that are going on right now in front of you, allowing yourself to set your own pace doesn't have to be that hard. Sometimes we make life so hard for absolutely no reason. And the Seven of Cups could be, if you're trying to just live your life, live your best life, and you're in a relationship that's really confusing and it makes you feel worse more than it makes you happy, that needs to end. Doesn't mean it's gone forever, but something has to transition with it. You cannot sit in a vibration like that for a long time and expect things to just be okay. You really, really, really have to allow yourself, and I say this to people a lot that are in relationships that, like, literally it makes them feel worse every single day. It makes them more miserable than it does make them happy. Why are you staying in that? Why do you, I don't care if you love, because I love them, Betsy. I get it. I understand. But do you love yourself more? Probably not. Not if you're holding on to something that makes you miserable. And even if that person isn't really terrible to you, but they're not choosing you every day, or you're constantly triggering each other, this happens a lot with twin flames. And I don't tell people that they have to go into separation, but if you're not aligned within yourself and the relationship is really, really tough, it's going to get tougher before it gets better if you do not align within yourself. If you do not take a step back, allow yourself the space, and I don't mean a day, I mean weeks if you have to. If you're a true twin flame with that person, they're always going to be there. Their energy is always going to be there. But it doesn't mean that you hold on to it so tightly because you think you're going to lose out on something. That's not the point. You don't hold on to something because you think you're going to lose out on something. You hold on to something because you're aligned with it. If you're not aligned, right? How do you get into alignment? You allow yourself to move away from those things that need to end. The chapter needs to end. Doesn't mean the book is over, just the chapter. Let's get one more card and then we'll clarify. Yeah, see? Oh, wow. What's happening here? Page of Cups. You want more. Why are you moving away from something that has to end because it was confusing? It's because you want more out of life. Page of Cups. You want more out of life, whatever it is. And because the Page of Cups for me is like, could I just get a little something? Just a little bit? It doesn't have to be much. Just a little something. All right. So, King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is aligned. It's very aligned. And we have the King of Cups. He's also emotionally mature. The King of Cups is also in alignment. He is emotionally mature. And the King of Pentacles is financially stable and emotionally mature as well. So, and how do you get there? You don't get there by being super confused by all the things that you have to do. You get there by allowing yourself to rest, by allowing yourself to come to a place of peace, knowing that just because, it's, like I said, it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but it doesn't have to be all chaos either. You make it chaos. The Knight of Swords on the Four of Swords. If you're dealing with somebody right now, or a bunch of people, or one, or whoever, whatever, or just situations where it is chaos and it feels like you're like on the losing end of a conversation all the time, or losing end of a situation all the time, you pull back from that. You do not have to engage right now. I give you 112% permission to not engage with the low vibrational people. You rise above and you say, you don't even have to say it out loud. You just say it inside. I'm better than that. I don't have to deal with the people that are coming at me in a low vibrational way, which was probably one of the reasons why I said that about the channel and the people that think they have to leave negative comments about a reading that doesn't resonate with them. Like if it doesn't resonate with you, good. It'll resonate with somebody else. Seven of Cups. Whoa. I feel like, so I have the Five of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Five of Wands on the Seven of Cups. I feel like you need to know, I feel like some people are moving or are thinking about moving, and there's this argument within themselves because there's so many things that have to be done before that happens. Now, if you're not moving and that doesn't resonate with you, there could be a lot of arguing just out of issues of communication within the home, like petty arguments. And like I said, if you're trying to figure something out logically right now, it's not going to happen. It's not, like, logic is not, it's just, it's hard to be logical right now. You got to feel your way through things and allow yourself to feel your way through things. So if the communication is fuzzy or you can't really put your finger on what's happening and there's a lot of arguing coming like around the home, disengage. And like, you look at a person and you're like, you know what? It looks like this fight or this argument, it's not going to be resolved this way. So let's back off and reconvene later. Like if you want to look at things in a logical way right now, that's the best way to do it. Let's reconvene later when we're not so highly sensitive about everything. Like allow things to smooth over. Because where you're going to win this is saying, I'm not at 100% right now, and so I cannot have an argument with you about this. Because we're just going to get our wires crossed. Seriously, don't try to figure things out when you can't figure things out. Everything is figure outable, but right now it's going to be very difficult to do it in a logical way. You can maybe possibly do it through love, but using your words and arguing a lot it's just not gonna work out. It's not gonna happen. There are things that have to end or transition in your life in order for you to have boundaries. Now, there could be a Scorpio energy around you or an Earth energy around you, but the Seven of Wands for me is all about having healthy boundaries. And if you're feeling a bit defensive and you need to put up your healthy boundaries, don't feel guilty about doing that. If you have to look at somebody and say, I can't, I'm like, I can't right now. I got to put up my boundaries. That's actually healthier than arguing about it. Not everybody's going to agree on everything all the time, but right now, communication lines are just going to get mixed. It's going to be very difficult to argue a point that you can't argue. So allowing yourself the space to say, I'm going to take a time out. Biggest thing. That's a really good transition. That's a good transition to have. So let's see. 6 of Swords is moving away from rough waters into calmer waters. And this is kind of why I feel like some of you are actually moving, and there are just so many options that you can't really like pinpoint an exact option that you want to have from this. But the 3 of Pentacles on the 6 of Swords, I feel like you actually have people that will help you to get to a more peaceful place. The 3 of Pentacles is all about teamwork. It's about entrepreneurial. It's about starting new projects with other people. So allow yourself to do that. And if it's going to bring you in a more peaceful place, if it's going to help you with your alignment, I highly suggest you get with your people. Because there's, in one area of your life, I feel like in one area of life, there's this need to have some boundaries up so people don't overstay their welcome, if you will. And in other areas of your life, you need to bring people in that you can trust in order to help you. Don't let the pride and ego get in the way. If other people are saying, you know, let me do something for you. Let me give you a hand. Let me help you out a little bit. I say let it happen. I say let that happen. Page of Cups. Yeah, 3 of Cups. If you're wanting more out of life, where are you going to find more out of life? From your friends, from the people around you. Even if you don't have a lot of friends, even if you just have one friend, even if your friend is your mom or your sibling. And if you're on your own, I'm sure that there are people out there that will help. The biggest thing right now is to know that you're not alone on the journey, and allow yourself to know that you're not alone, and don't let your pride and ego get in the way when it comes to asking for help. Why are things, it's so weird. Like, half of my cards are upside down and half of them aren't. It's so weird. And you guys know me. So we have the Queen of Wands, Justice, the Hanged Man, the Hermit, the King of Wands, 2 of Cups. Like I said, some of these are like really, and Temperance. All right. And the Chariot and the Knight of Cups here. 5 of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. All right. So there's so much light. There's so much light here. Hope. There's so much hope. We'll put it that way. There's so much hope here. There's, be confident. The Justice card for me is alignment. It's balancing out things in your life. It's allowing you to see that even though you kind of feel a lack mentality, there's more to it than meets the eye. You see a lack mentality because you're comparing yourself to everybody else, and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And even if you're not like trying to keep up with the Joneses like on purpose, there's a feeling of it being there that some of you might be. The reason why you're out of alignment is because you think you're supposed to be in a certain space and place right now, and you're not. And the reason why you're You think that you're supposed to be in that place over and over and over again. You keep trying to get to this certain place in your life over and over and over again. And the reason why you're not getting there is because you're trying to hustle to get there and you're not in alignment. And that can be with relationships, with jobs, with family members, with whatever situation is going on in your life where you feel like you just can't figure the shit out. It's because it's not supposed to work out. There's something better for you. Even if it doesn't look like it's better on the outside, I guarantee you it's going to benefit you in so many more ways than you think it is. So the Hanged Man and the Hermit. Allow your, and the Queen of Wands knows this. That's why she's coupled with the Justice card over here. Because the Queen of Wands is confident that she doesn't hustle, she aligns. The Queen of Wands is the leader. She gets it done. So the Hanged Man and the Hermit together. If you feel stuck right now, which you're probably I would say most of us do feel a little bit stuck in some way right now. They don't really know what your next step is. Go inward. It's not getting past me that the Hanged Man is Pisces and the Hermit is Virgo, which is just opposite Pisces, which I spoke about earlier. If you're feeling stuck right now, go inward. Don't let the outside world beat you down before you go inward. Do it automatically. Allow yourself to get into this Queen of Wands justice status, because and the thing is with the Hanged Man, the reason why he's upside down is because he just wants to look at things in a different way. And how do you look at things in a different way? You go inward. And then we have the King of Wands, the Two of Cups, and Temperance. There's a lot of patience and love right now. If you're dealing with a King of Wands in your life, it doesn't have to be a fire sign. King of Wands is somebody who is very confident about who they are and who they want to be. And even if he doesn't know exactly how he's going to figure everything out in a logical way, he feels his way through it. King of Wands represents Leo. Leo is all about the heart. And then we have Temperance, which is the Sagittarius card. And Jupiter's in Sagittarius right now. And then the Two of Cups right in the middle. There's a lot of love to be had and a lot of patience to be had if you just let your heart guide you right now, instead of trying to be in a place of figuring things out with your mind, because it's not going to happen. The figuring things out with your mind is not going to happen. And I feel like I gotta say, with a lot of you, love is going to help guide you through this time. And I don't even necessarily mean that love from an outside, because you have to love yourself first. And if you're not loving yourself first, it's going to be very, very difficult to get through this time period, to get through Pisces season. But the Chariot could be dealing with a Cancer energy as well. So we have fire, earth, water. Yeah, fire, earth, and water down here. But the Chariot and the Knight of Cups, for me, this is like those people that are giving you little love nudges along the way. You can keep going. You can keep going. Surround yourself with that. You're on your purpose. You can keep going. You're going the right direction. Just a little bit longer. You can do this. Don't surround yourself with the negative people. And if you're a person that has a real problem with other people trying to love nudge you along, saying, you got this, you can do this. You are strong enough to do this. You have the ability to do this. You are creative enough to do this. You're this or this. If people are trying to build you up and that makes you uncomfortable, that's a wound. If you have somebody around you that is constantly trying to build you up and it annoys you or you don't believe it, that's a wound and that needs to be healed, and that means that you're out of alignment. And because the Three of Swords, the Sun, and the Five of Pentacles, there's actually a lot of healing with the Sun here. The Five of Pentacles is a lack mentality. The Sun is that healing moment between the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. You don't have to live every day in heartbreak. The Sun is here to give you clarity on the wounds that you're still holding on to that are putting you in a lack mentality, that are making you feel like you're not good enough for a certain person, or you're not good enough for a certain job, or you're not good enough for this, or good enough for that, or whatever it is. If you allow the Sun to bring you a little, and the Sun is in Pisces, what is that? Emotional clarity. It's not about logical clarity, it's emotional clarity. If you allow yourself to be honest with you, it doesn't even have to be with other people. Where are you holding yourself back because of things from the past? And where are you allowing it to still give you a lack mentality? Because there's someone or something that is the Sun that's trying to show you a better way and a better place than what you're allowing yourself to see. And it could be any of these people here. It could be friends. It could be family. It could be a counterpart. I feel like some of it's connected to love for some of you. Some of it's connected to family or siblings or something in some way. This time's all about a new start, and a creative one at that. Ooh, that's going to lead you to the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Cups, for Pete's sake. The Fool, the Empress, the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Cups. The things that you're doing right now are leading you to full emotional bliss, happiness, completion. But you have to allow it. And you have to find out where it is that you're not allowing the transition to happen. Yes, we all need to put up personal boundaries, but where are you blocking that transformation? Where are you stopping yourself from that transformation, from allowing that transformation to happen? Are you blocking people that are trying to help you, who genuinely love you? Are you blocking situations just because they don't look the way you think they're supposed to? I need to have more money. I need to have more of this and more of this and more of this. I haven't had a job in over a year, but this offer still isn't good enough. I never understood that. If you haven't had a job in over a year and you've been, working really hard to get a job and get a job and get a job, and then somebody offers you something, but there's something wrong with it, I guarantee that when that happens, and I've been there before, when that happens, you go back 2 or 3 months later after turning that job down and you're kicking yourself in the foot. 6 months later when you still don't have a job and you're like, damn, I really should have taken that. Should have taken that offer when I had the chance, because it could have helped me grow. Don't try to figure things out logically right now. It's all about emotional reset. That's where your wins are going to be. See the cups? All of the cups. Your wins are going to be within the emotions, not the logic. All right? Okay, I've talked enough. I love you guys. Thank you for your patience and letting me have a really smooth vacation. That was awesome. Like seriously, everybody kind of, I mean, there were some people that emailed me and like kind of poked me along the way, but after I let them know that I was on vacation, it was like flawless. Like people were like, "Oh no, that's great." So I love all of you. My subscribers are amazing. You guys are fantastic. Again, the Mastering Yourself Alignment class, March 10th, there are still 4 spots open. There's only 4 days left to get in those spots. And I do have a tarot class that I'm changing. It was originally going to be on the 11th of March. I'm changing that to the 17th of March. I'll have that link up on my website. It's not there right now. If you're interested in the alignment class, that is on March 10th. Link is in the description box below, fearlessintuition.net. I will be finishing all of the March readings this week. And I do have 3 readings left to do for 2019 as well. Those take a lot of energy, so I really appreciate your patience on that. I love you guys. Have a really, really wonderful weekend. Excuse me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.